Hey, this is Suma Zhao, and you're listening to the Get a Life podcast. What a bother. Come on, Bish, do I really have to do this?
Well, if you don't want me to tell Sumashura that you've been eating his meat buns.
Alright. Jeez, calm down.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Get Life podcast. I'm currently looking at my laptop because this is awkward for me. I don't know. This is the first time recording in an office, which is alright actually.
It's a meeting room.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll call it a boardroom, and then you'll be really.
Yeah. It's boardroom number 2, so
you'll be really
somewhere.
nervous.
Oh, thanks. But it's kind of small. It's kind of cozy, but it's kind of weird because you have all of these football figurines just looking at you, staring.
And some with no heads.
Exactly. Yeah, some with no heads. That's kind of who took their heads off? Were they just casually?
I think it's just the design of them.
Why are they
I
here?
haven't seen it without any heads.
The ones at the bottom. Basically, like the other partner of our company, they create these little soccer stars figurines, and they're just probably testing out the kits and the colours. So they didn't want to put any players' heads on there yet. So
that's kind of creepy. That is super creepy. I remember these things like those football things with the big heads. They used to be like chocolate eggs or something like that. Maybe I'm getting confused with something else, but
you sure it's not a Kinder Egg?
I'm sure it's not Kinder Egg. I think it was like the shape of a football. Anyway, I'm kind of drifting off here, and you guys are thinking, what the hell is going on? Well, I'm here in.
Can you do photos? You could have done a photo of the cabinet.
Yeah, so they can see it. Yeah,
because those are the original master sculpts. So
yeah, we could do a photo
kind of
of
collector's
collector's without any
items.
heads.
Yeah.
These are kind of creepy, actually. They're staring at me while I'm recording. They're like, Bish, we're judging you right now. We know what you're going to say. Anyway, so we're here in Croydon. Are we in Croydon?
Yeah.
Okay, we're in Croydon.
The outskirts of Croydon.
Yeah. On my way here, it was terrible because it was raining and someone told me to go to the other direction.
Oh, you walked up to Asda?
Yes.
Yeah, everyone.
Did you get all the way up to
Everyone
Asda?
does that.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
almost
God.
all the
Thank
way
God.
up. And then some person was like, oh yeah, I know where it is. Follow me. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, that happens to everyone.
Yeah.
Is it the same person that's just...
Something to do with the postcode. If you put the postcode into Google Maps,
takes you back.
It doesn't take you here.
No, it does.
It takes you up the road.
No, finally I checked it on Google Maps and it took me here.
Oh, okay.
Weird.
It didn't used to.
Well, now it does. So Google, that's legit.
Well done, finally.
Anyway, so I haven't even introduced what company we are with. We're currently talking with Will and Jazz from Reef Entertainment. So,
Hey.
Yeah.
Hello.
So I'm guessing this is the first time you guys are on a podcast, or?
We've had interviews before.
Yeah, I've been on a few gaming wise. I was on the God is a Geek podcast.
Oh.
A few times.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Care to explain?
That's a gaming website run by
Adam Cook.
Yeah, Adam Cook and another guy called Calvin. And yeah, sorry. That's just another gaming podcast. I think that's the only one.
We were in the Geek Show.
Oh, the Geek Show. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was recently. That was the only one I think we've done at Reef.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it.
And
Apart from phoning in a few, phoned into a few MMA podcasts.
Really?
UFC podcasts, yeah.
Oh.
And
so you're into UFC?
yeah, and I'm a massive podcast fan. Yeah, I listen to probably 4 to 5 hours per day of podcasts.
You have a lot of free time.
I love podcasts.
He has a lot. He's a big track.
Yeah, because I travel.
commute.
And I don't really like listening to music, so I always listen to podcasts.
I'm the same.
Yeah,
but not as many podcasts on a shorter trip.
Gaming wise, I haven't started listening to this one yet, but I shall. Video Gamer podcast, Dismal Jesters, which is Jim Sterling's. Well, it's not really a game podcast, but Jim Sterling.
Please let that stay in there. Please let that stay in
Jim
there.
Sterling.
That's going to stay in there.
Jim Sterling from you'd probably appreciate that as well. From used to be on Podtoid, and then they started their own one called Dismal Jesters.
Wow.
And that is an amazing podcast.
Yeah, Jim's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and also the Shop2.net podcast, which is good. because they're one of the retailers. It's a UK retailer. And they sell a lot of our products, so we was into that.
Honestly, when you're talking about shop too, honestly, I'm more of a game fan. You know.
Oh, the two retailers.
Yeah, because games always had that kind of. I've always had this emotional attachment with game and with, of course with Tecmo Koei.
Yeah.
Because game's always been there, and I can't. And everyone's like bitching about game on Twitter, and I'm like, you can't do this. It's not right. And then people always disagree with me, and they're like, why?
Is that because you like to buy in store?
Not because of that, it's just because I like game. Like even when I buy online or I buy from game, it's more expensive. But it's because I have that emotional attachment. It's for me.
You also get
you know why
cards
that
as well.
probably is, because originally at Koei we used to have all the pre-orders exclusively from game. Like the Dynasty Warriors 6 massive art book and the like Warriors Orochi cards and all that kind of stuff. So it's probably because of that.
They still do have pre-order bonuses, but now it's more like spread.
Yeah.
And personally, I'm not a big fan of that when companies are like, yeah, let's give it to all these pre-order bonuses to different companies. When in Japan they were all like for one company.
Yeah.
Originally, it just for me it's not big. I'm not a big fan of that kind of thing because I don't want to go all the way to this company and then
start having to get quite confusing.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's a difficult debate because like so many people don't want to do that, and then there's people who are really loyal. It's really interesting.
I don't think Game have a podcast though. So.
Yeah.
They don't. I've been trying to talk with them actually, but they're not. I wouldn't say they're not responding. I have to go visit their head office soon. So
they could do a cool one though.
Yeah.
I think they can.
Aaron Cooper could.
Yeah, with their like social staff and yeah, that would be quite cool.
Because they're pretty weird and wonderful. The guys at Game, especially Aaron.
Yeah.
He's been on this podcast before, and it's crazy.
He makes me hug him every time.
You guys met him?
Yeah. I was
so jealous.
playing Mario Kart with him last night.
Mario Kart, that's the one game I don't have yet. Do you know why? Because I don't own a Wii U. Haven't.
I think I'm the only one in the office who's got one, actually.
What's the point?
It's really good. It just hasn't been supported very much.
It hasn't been supported because it's not making any money. I think for Nintendo's, the only games that they're making money off are the games they make themselves.
Yeah, because they probably market it and then.
Well, they make money off every game that gets published on the format.
Yeah, but it's just not as much as Mario Kart. Like the reason I want to get a Wii U is because of Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
Or for Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
But
yes.
I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy a Wii U because I want the new Zelda game or the new whatever game that's coming out. Like, because for instance, like Watch Dogs, that's already out on the Wii U and on PlayStation 4. Like, if I'm thinking about it, why would I buy a Wii U and then play Watch Dogs when I could do it on a better console? I think it's the release of the Wii U as well. Like, timing.
It's also like when the new consoles came out, it just outdated the Wii
exactly,
U, like graphics wise and power wise and even memory wise.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Mario Kart's doing very well.
It looks so good.
They've sold a lot, and it does seem to have had more of an impact on the hardware sales than the Mario that came out at Christmas.
Also, the Luigi
the gifts and the gifts
Luigi
and stuff
Death
that are coming out are giving them a lot of like.
Oh man, the Luigi Death Stare is amazing.
What is it?
You'll have to like find a thread on NeoGAF. And it's all about just like Luigi being really.
It's basically because they had the genius idea of when. I guess now I don't know whether they had this in the older versions of Mario Kart, like the ones since Super Nintendo, or even if they had it in the Super Nintendo one. But now when the characters pass each other or like shoot a shell, overtake, they stare at each other, and it just so happens that Luigi has got a very evil-looking stare, and then that sort of became an animated GIF, and then it spread across NeoGAF and Reddit, and now it's kind of become the next internet.
Basically, Luigi's saying the year of Luigi is not over.
Yeah. So that's become really big for them, and given them, I think, like some credibility with gamers that they hadn't had before, and also it's like a little touch that
not many people
show their skill graphically to get that much character out of.
It's a good point that you made last week, that not many people would put in a racing game them looking at each other, and it gives that kind of what's the word, like
tension.
Not just tension, but more you can connect with the characters.
Yeah, it brings more personality to it. Yeah, and Mario Kart like always was a game that you felt like a bit cheeky when you hit someone with a shell or a red shell. So to see it kind of reciprocated by the characters, but also the fact that they have such a good understanding of their own characters that they know Luigi, like he's the jealous
little brother.
He's kind of like slightly jealous brother of Mario, so that for him to be, I think, having that personality kind of coming out in the game is what's made it kind of take off, and it just shows like little touches can be really effective.
Of course.
Yeah.
For me, Mario Kart is an amazing game, but it really gets me so angry. Like when I'm driving on the road, I don't get road rage, but as soon as you put me in Mario Kart, I'm just like...
What, single player? Because of the rubber banding, that's why?
Not single player, multiplayer, because I tend to play with family.
Yeah.
So everyone's around me, like grandma, mum, dad, everyone. My sisters especially, because they're like crazy about Mario Kart. And it's just like they're too good.
Yeah.
They're too good for their own good. I don't know. Like that's
the thing that was annoying in the original was the fact that no matter how fast you were, the AI's speed was based on your speed. So even if you were doing your best ever laps, the character in second place would always be
just as quick,
close to you. So they would often red shell you on the last lap or something like that. So there was always that little bit of unfairness to the single player, which was frustrating. But you live with it.
Well, one thing I like about Mario Kart now is the new power-ups and stuff, especially with that subwoofer thing.
Yeah,
that's
very cool.
It is very interesting because
it brings new dynamic to like the blue shell.
It nerfs it.
So like the blue shell, obviously not the blue shell that takes out the person in first place, but there's a way to like beat that. Where if it's about to hit you, you can like activate the side
counter it,
and it destroys the blue shell.
You don't get it a lot. When you're in first place, you tend to get coins.
Yeah,
which is annoying.
The coin system's very good though,
but
because
what do coins do?
So the more coins you have, the faster you are.
Mario Kart always the way.
Yeah. So now, like, if you're in first place, you only get coins. You won't get any items to boost you. You just get speed bonuses. So that's the way you like stay in front.
I see.
So you don't really get much of an advantage. You just get coins.
So you not keep the coins afterwards, or is it just have some free coins?
Coins eventually they stack up, and the more coins you get, you unlock stuff in the game. But during the actual race, you start with 0, or you might start with 1 or 2 if you've done really well or really poorly, to give you a bit of a bonus. Yeah.
Well, anyway, enough about Mario Kart. Can we just let's just talk about Reef. So what is Reef about?
Well, Reef is a gaming publisher and distributor based in the UK. But our self-published products, like Rambo the video game, we publish and distribute those globally. And our distribution titles, we operate in the UK mainly. But also in Scandinavia and other areas of Europe. And our publishing output and our distribution output are very different in terms of the types of products. And when we distribute titles and do PR for titles, in that side you never see the Reef name attached because we're acting as a partner for another publisher.
So just like an extension of their...
So, for example, with NISA, which is Nippon Ichi Software America, we are the distributor for their products in the UK. So series like Disgaea or Danganronpa, we handle the sales and marketing. Or, for example, at London Expo, when there's a NISA booth, that would be run by us. But obviously, we don't put any of our own branding there because it's very much about working for NISA.
Okay.
So a lot of the work we do is I think not sort of something that we would make visible to the fans or to the players because their relationships with NISA, they're fans of their games, not fans of us. We're just kind of providing a service there. And then we do other little bits of distribution, like I mentioned in Nordic and Scandinavian regions, we distribute Tecmo Koei's titles there. And we like to think that because we are our team's made up of people that are kind of specialists in Japanese gaming, we can help to kind of grow those series a little bit with our kind of specialist knowledge.
So what do you do with that specialist knowledge?
Well, we try to. I mean, let's take a series like Dynasty Warriors, not a lot of people know the difference between all of the various games.
Yeah.
And people just will tend to think Dynasty Warriors 8, well, isn't that just the same as 7, 6, 5, all the ones that came earlier? It takes someone that actually knows a little bit about the series to be able to say, hang on a sec, Dynasty Warriors 8, that's a substantial upgrade over 7, which added these characters to it. And then you've got like the XL version, which is going to add like Lubu's daughter, I think was in the latest one, right? Yeah. Not many people would really know that or even know who Lubu was. But if you take the time to explain it to people, even just like the most basic thing, did you know that all these characters are actually based on the romance of the Three Kingdoms?
So how does Reef do that in the Scandinavian regions?
We explain it directly to the buyers in retail, and also Jazz talks directly to the journalists there.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like we via email or Skype, we're not always there. But we also have sales agents that work from Denmark in that region, so it's a lot about giving them the information to be able to then
go on
pass
and do
on
what they need to do.
Yeah, and we obviously also believe in the title strongly, so we want them to do the best they can. Let's say in the UK we were talking about like this week we've got a game coming out called Hyperdimension Neptunia. Producing Perfection.
I've heard a lot.
Yeah, we showed that at London Expo, and so the fans can play it, and we can promote that series that way. So it's really just about trying to get these brands across as much as possible for that, and then for our own titles like Rambo the video game, we looked for an opportunity. We acquired the license. We appoint the developer. We support them through the development of the game, and then once it's finished, we then take that to market as a download title through Steam, or as a physical box that you can buy anywhere in the world. And on those titles, you would see the Reef name on the box. So it's kind of quite diverse, but drawing from the skills that we have.
So you guys won't even be in the credits of the games that you distribute, like
No, because we're not involved in
Developing
in making the games. We just our job is just to maximise the sales. The better sales they do, then obviously the more titles can be brought to the European market, and the more sales they have, then hopefully those franchises can continue and grow. For example, Hyperdimension Neptunia 1, that was a title that I think when that first came out, we distributed that when I was working at Koei, and no one knew about it, and it found a small niche of players, which allowed then the second one to come out, and the third one, and each game is getting slightly better. And now you've got Producing Perfection, which is an offshoot of the series, and that's not an RPG, it's idle simulation, but it's still dealing with the same characters.
Yeah.
So now that brand has now been established in Europe, and now it can continue to grow.
It's really quite cool as well, because that's not the type of game you see coming over to the West as well.
Yeah.
Because idle sims aren't very
known
to be
over
over
here. I would
here.
say so. It's interesting that they're bringing it over here. So for me, it's like I find it kind of odd, because it's not something I would go for.
No, because it's mostly for like Japanese fans. Like a lot of people have requested these type of games from Japan to be brought over, so having that option to bring it over and see how well it does will obviously
you've got to look at like
publishers and
what the people appreciate about a game, and often with RPG it's the characters and the art style, and often the RPG mechanics can be quite simple, so if people like the characters, then it makes sense to make a game that really gets you closer to the personalities of the characters themselves, and that's what this game does, because you're talking to the girls from the series, and the reason it's Producing Perfection is the fact you're playing a producer and you're managing their career as a pop star. So if you are a fan of these characters, this is an opportunity to get to meet them on a more personal level,
rather than just for the RPG story.
Yeah. Also, Reef's parent company is a distribution, a video game distributor. So that means we have the power to bring boxed releases into the market, I think stronger than perhaps other distributors and publishers can do. So often you see small niche titles now that are only released as download.
Yeah.
Whereas we work with box releases, so it's our goal to get as many titles into boxes as possible.
It's a great thing because, especially as a fan of certain games, Dynasty Warriors, like games from Japan.
Yeah.
When you hear that they're not coming over as a physical release, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
That's what I think, and it's great that you guys are trying your best to get the physical releases out there.
I think people that personally, the more niche a title is, the more people appreciate having a box version of it. Because if you're a fan of the series, then you want to build up a collection and have something that sits there and kind of like physically shows how much you're a fan of it.
Yeah.
And you also build up the library. And even looking at the cover of a game sometimes, if it's something you really like, can take you back to when you were playing it. And I don't have the same connection. If I look at games that I've downloaded and I scroll through them, it doesn't really bring back like warm memories. But if I look back at like some old games that I owned, when I look at the box or I hold the box and see the artwork and see the disc, that kind of reminds you of like, all the things that are good about that game. So I think that's one of the reasons why the box market, it's never going to be as big as it used to be when it was the only way that you could get games. But I think it's always going to have a place because you always want to have that physical thing that represents your passion for the series. Dynasty Warriors fans are kind of the truest example because people love to collect the whole library. That's one of the reasons why it's so successful, because if you can really stack out like Dynasty Warriors from the first one on PS1 up to like 8 Extreme Legends, you've really got something you've got like almost like
20
it's like you've got all the volumes of this like massive saga, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
For me, I'm similar with Dynasty Warriors, but it's just I'm having problems trying to find all of them.
Yeah.
Especially the earlier titles like Dynasty Warriors 2, because I haven't played that game in about 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years. And it's like my favourite game of all time.
Dynasty Warriors 2.
Yeah,
that's
Dynasty
the one
Warriors
that was
2.
released by Midas in
It was,
Europe.
it was.
Single player story.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was freaking amazing.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, I was like 6 years old. I used to run out downstairs at 6 a.m. in the morning, play it for like ages.
It was super difficult.
It wasn't that difficult actually.
I remember like getting I think it was near the start. Like as soon as you get to Hula Gate, but I guess every Hula Gate is really difficult.
Not really.
Well, when Lubu's chasing you.
No. I think Lubu from back in the day was much more overpowered than he is now.
Yeah.
Because Lubu is so easy, and it was just like, really, come on. Like it's like from Dynasty Warriors 6 up until Dynasty Warriors 8, Lubu was super easy to defeat. And I was glad that Tecmo Koei kind of said, hey, we know that it's been easier, so we're just going to make it more difficult in Dynasty Warriors 8. But still, like I remember used to fighting Lubu in like Dynasty Warriors 4, Dynasty Warriors 3, and it was a pain in the ass. You see what I mean? It's just, for me now...
In the earlier games, he was definitely more difficult.
Yeah, of course. And it's just maybe I'm thinking that people don't want to fight Lubu and go through that.
Well, I think a lot of the people who play those type of games now kind of go on it through the premise of seeing it, and they don't know anything about the history of the story, and then they jump in and get killed at level 2 on Hula Gate and be like, well, I can't beat that guy. Am I supposed to fight him or am I supposed to skip him? So
yeah, you don't know. It's hard to take into account the skill of every different player and say this is how hard Lubu should be.
Yeah.
Because for some people, they don't have the same ability to know all the combos, or they might not have leveled their character up enough. So it's pretty hard to balance that kind of difficulty.
Of course.
And you want him to be tough for some people, but you want him to be tough for people that are just starting out as well. So you've been playing it for a long time, so you're going to be a lot better than most people that are just starting out at it new. So you probably should start playing on like the hardest.
No, I don't do that. What I tend to do is I play the game on beginner, the easiest difficulty, to get my characters leveled up. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, I'll play on chaos. Like I don't.
Yeah, that's
do
the thing. If
you
you should start on you should be responsible for yourself and start on a harder difficulty. And then you won't complain that
because you're closing the gap, because you're making it easy for yourself.
Yeah, you're making it. You're actually causing it yourself.
No. I'm making it easier for myself because I want to first of all experience the story and whatever.
Yeah.
And then after, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna kill him. I'm just gonna.
But that's why you're experiencing an easier loop.
That's why you're thinking it's easier, because you're leveling yourself up. So
most people are playing like this game for the first time, play normal. Go into level 2 with like a level 2 or 3 character, and get destroyed.
The thing is, because with Dynasty Warriors, the getting the balance perfect for yourself. It's really elusive. That's what I found from playing it. Sometimes on some levels you'll be just the right. You want to be sort of like 30% underpowered for the level, so that you have enough feeling of it's actually my
challenging.
My gameplay is making me manage to do this, not just the fact that I'm over leveled.
Okay.
Yeah, and when
plus you get the sense of like achievement. Once
plus you need to be, but you need to be powerful enough that you're not just going to get whacked, completely killed.
Yeah.
But when you get it like perfectly on, it's really, really a thrilling experience. But it's like it's very hard I think to actually like make sure that would happen on every level that everyone's playing at every skill level. So you have to, like, as a gamer, be responsible for sort of like creating the difficulty yourself by not leveling yourself too much and also getting the right difficulty. Because like when I'm playing it with my wife, who's a big Warriors fan, she basically likes to unlock all the characters and boost all the characters up, and she likes to play on normal or easy. So if I'm playing split screen with her, I'm not saying I'm really good at the game or amazing at it, but I've played it a lot. I'll go for a level 1 character. She'll go for a fully boosted character, normal difficulty setting, and that works really well because I get the thrill of can't believe I'm actually managing to stay alive. And if I take out one officer, for me it's like that's awesome because I was
skilled enough to take him out.
Whereas for her, she's fine because she can just blast through everything as well, like she likes. Because she's like boosted up enough. So I think you've got to, like, when you're given as much as you are in that game, take responsibility for sort of like giving it a little bit of balancing yourself. Because if you just run riot over the easy modes and level yourself up, by the time you get onto the harder difficulty settings, you're so boosted anyway.
You find it like it's playing on normal or playing on easy.
So you need to make a little adjustments.
Got to make it more aggressive for yourself.
Okay, I understand that.
Yeah,
that's fine. And I think that's very good advice as well, because there are a lot of people, who take it to another extreme and say, Dynasty Warriors is so easy. Yeah, it's just one button and you can do all these crazy combos. When in fact it isn't really.
Yeah, no, it's not easy at all. If you're playing it on the right settings, it can be as easy or it can be as difficult as you want, and certainly in like some of the older ones as well, when you're trying to actually juggle all the different objectives around the battlefield that you're being given, protect your base and certain like officers, and manage like to knock out the like troop spawning parts all at the same time as staying alive can become really difficult. It can become really difficult, like really frantic, but also actually it's called tactical action because it should be split second tactical decisions of where do I need to be on the map that is going to have the most influence.
Plus, everything you do in that game has an implication on that level. I mean, I remember like playing Dynasty Warriors 3 back in the day, and when you completed a story mode with somebody, it changes the course. Yeah. Like I remember completing it with Sensei, and Sensei was then on every Wu campaign. When you played the story, he was the main guy instead of Sun Quan, so that was kind of cool. And then when you did it with Sun Jian, it was like he never died, and he was the leader all the way through. It was definitely got its interesting points, and it definitely feels like you've got a say in what goes on. I think that's what a lot of Warriors fans like.
Yeah, the thing, it can give you some really good heroic moments when you've not been doing that well, and the enemies have pushed completely into your base, and the whole map's red. And your command just hanging out, and you were like at the top corner, and he's shouting for you, and you having to like charge on your horse all the way down back to your base, but then when you get to your base, you can rescue the whole situation and then turn the tides and then see the map kind of get pushed back out. That's one of the things that I don't think any other game can really give you that thrill.
Indeed.
Jazz used to play like. Didn't he used to play like. He used to just go in his main base, not do anything for like 30 minutes, just let the map evolve. So like everything was conquered.
Wow.
So then he would like launch his attack. It's a one-man army.
I remember doing that.
Crazy.
Yeah, I don't think you could really do that so much in the new ones.
Well,
No.
I would say in Empires, you
Empires you
can.
yeah.
More base kind of.
Yeah,
driven.
yeah.
But I don't think, like you said, I don't think you could do that in Dynasty Warriors 8 or...
I used to always do that in Dynasty Warriors 3. That was my favourite one. That was the one I completely destroyed.
A lot of people liked Dynasty Warriors 3, but...
I think I've got a sentimental like feeling towards it because that was my first
I see.
one.
I think everyone's first Dynasty Warriors game is
Yeah.
probably their best. Because for me, it was Dynasty Warriors 2.
Yeah, I love Dynasty Warriors
And
2.
like I said, I've said this on pretty much every episode of the podcast where we talk about Tekken Koei. I've gone through 3 copies of that game.
What, Dynasty Warriors 2?
Yeah, 3
What
copies.
did you do to them?
Just keep on playing them. I used to play them morning, night, everywhere. I don't know how I ruined those copies, but it's just. And the thing is, I only completed one story mode, and I was just repeated it again and again. It was just with Dian Wei. I haven't played any other characters or any other stories. And I'm thinking about it now, and that's why I really want it to be released on like the PlayStation Store, so I can go and download it and re-experience that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be disappointed. I don't want it to be like, oh, this game's kind of.
It would probably look so bad now.
Yeah.
It would,
Yeah.
but
I remember the maps being really good in that game. The maps in 2 and 3 were really good. Because 2 was the first one to have the whole battle system, because number 1 was a beat 'em up.
Yeah. That's how, like you were saying, how can you use your knowledge to get people hyped up about the titles? That's how you can do it. Just explain to them like why it's good.
Okay.
Because people often don't respect games they don't know about because they don't realise the little intricacies. But when they understand them more, they get into it. I think the thing about Dynasty Warriors that gets people into it is just when they first choose their favourite character.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you can hook them on, have a look through these characters, see which one you think you like, have a look at the weapons. Once they've chosen their first favourite one, they're going to be like, oh, that's my guy.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be like, hang on, oh, he's part of a kingdom.
And then you kind of.
And then they're going to be like, I'm going to align myself with this kingdom. And then once they're in that far, usually that's it. Yeah, they're gone. So you just got to know that these little ways
that
to
brings
get
me
in.
on to this question: who is your favourite character in Dynasty Warriors? And why?
Mine is Sansei. I remember when I first got the game, my best friend were playing the game, and playing at his house. We went to the shop, we saw a random game, we're like, oh, that looks quite cool. Bought it, played it. Eventually, I settled on Xiao Dun initially, and then we were playing Xiao Yun's storyline. I told you the story, maybe we were playing Xiao Yun's storyline. We came across Xiao Dun in one of the levels, and I thought he was a bad guy, so I was like, I don't want the bad guy. I don't want to be him. Then I switched to Zhang He, found out he was a bad guy. I was like, no, it's no bad guys. It's a 3 Kingdom story.
I don't know if my blog's still up, but if you want to hear read the complete history of Jazz playing Dynasty Warriors, I've got a blog that's must be about 5,000 words of how Jazz started playing Dynasty Warriors. It's classic.
And the way I picked my favourite character was on the back of the box. I was like, he looks cool.
Yeah. When you first pick a character in Dynasty Warriors, generally most people try and just pick a badass guy. Yeah. That's what I noticed. Most people say Joe Tai.
Yeah.
Because he's the most obvious. Because the thing is, I don't think most people recognise Chinese type design as really obviously badass. Whereas everyone knows katanas, ninja-y looking type guys. That's just accepted. This guy's going to be good. Do you know what I mean? The first time I saw Liu Bei, especially in the older ones, you're like, how can that guy be the leader of the kingdom? Because he looks better with 2 swords. Looks more obviously like you'd expect him to look. So I think most people pick someone like that, or they just pick Lu Bu. I think Joe Tai was the first guy I got into, and then as you play it more, you get into the more different types of guys because you get into their personalities more. So I started with him. My favourite now is Dong Zhuo, just for comedy.
Nobody else likes
just
him.
for comedy value.
That's quite nice.
Yeah,
actually.
and,
you're the second person.
Yeah,
that's actually said that.
Yeah, he's really cool. I mean, just the characterization of him is always brilliantly done. So I always play as him, and then I always like the beefier characters because the moves are really good. I liked Shingen's in Samurai Warriors, but Shingen because he had like a rolling suplex move, which is brilliant. There's one guy in this new one's got like a gigantic
boat. Oh
no,
God.
he's got like a running power bomb that's like literally like. I mean,
do you like wrestling, Will? By chance?
Yeah, no, I love his running power bomb. Yeah, there's all. I think the bigger guys, because I like the fact that they can, usually you do a Muso attack and it's going on for half an hour of like, lightning flying out of your sword and things. But when you do a super powerful Muso attack that's just one hit but does loads of damage, that's just got to be the most satisfying.
Have you seen one guy's new moveset with his boat?
Yeah. I was playing it with the boat. The boat's cool.
The boat's awesome.
The boat is cool. I like the.
He moves so quickly with the boat.
Yeah. I think my all-time favourite Warriors character though has got to be in Dynasty Warriors Gundam.
Really?
Yeah, Master Asia.
I haven't really played Gundam.
Ah, he is sick. Yeah.
So, are you going to be buying the new Gundam game, the Reborn? That's coming out soon.
Well, you never know. I might be lucky, and someone at Koei might send me.
So, Jin, if you're listening.
Yeah, post it. I would probably buy it. I like the Gundam one. It was really awesome.
I remember you used to love all the customization too.
But there's also some really good characters in Basara. Have you played Sengoku Basara?
Personally, I haven't played Sengoku Basara, but I know a lot of people listening know about it and whatever, and they're kind of annoyed that the new Sengoku Basara games are not coming over.
Yeah,
it sucks.
Yeah.
But honestly, I can, that's Capcom, and I can't blame them for what they're doing, because...
Yeah.
It's a really good iteration of the series. Yeah. Like, really good.
The thing I'll say about Basara is, because I didn't really take it seriously, and then my wife got it.
Why do you think you didn't take it seriously?
Because, I was working for...
Temo.
Yeah, Koei at the time, so I was, I didn't want to...
you didn't want to ruin it?
Yeah, I just didn't really have time to explore it. Then my wife got it, she started playing it, and I started playing with her. And that's kind of got me into it, because seeing the different spin on the same Warring States characters is really cool.
And I like the iteration, like some of the characters are female, and that's really cool.
Yeah, and also because it's made by Capcom, you've kind of like got a Muso game, but with a little bit of Capcom's extra depth to the fighting. That's what I would say.
So which one would you prefer? Would you prefer the Basara games or the Samurai Warriors games? And bear in mind, you are wearing a Tecmo Koei t-shirt.
Right now, if I had to say just between Samurai Warriors and Basara, if I had to say which one would I prefer to play, I'd say Basara, but only because I've played it so much less. Because there's only been one version of it, and it's really fresh because of that.
It's more of a new experience.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what you're after. New things.
Very nice answer.
Yeah.
Very political answer.
Yeah, but I have to say, I really enjoyed playing that. Got quality voice acting as well, really interesting characters.
And so, are you saying that Samurai Warriors doesn't have quality voice acting, or?
It's got different type, because I think of Samurai Warriors as a kind of like aesthetic is like hyper real, but not anime.
I see what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? It's like it's still erring on the realistic side in terms of like the look and the style and the voice acting.
Yeah.
Whereas Basara is like, for me, it's like straight
crazy
anime type look to it, and so I think the characters are all taken up to like the nth degree. So like if you look at like Honda, in Samurai Warriors, Honda looks like he looks like a beast. But then in Basara, he's like basically a Gundam.
Yeah.
He's like a steam-powered Gundam, and it's like the fact that it's so over the top, it just gets you into it very, very quickly. And I think as a package it works really well. But then again, because it's so because it's the way it is, I guess it's just maybe more difficult to get into, because it doesn't have the big Dynasty Warriors series to kind of then once you've got loads of Dynasty Warriors fans, so some of those are also going to transfer over to Samurai Warriors.
Yeah.
But not many of those might know that actually Basara is another similar type of series.
Okay, well, personally, I'm kind of skeptical about Sengoku Basara.
Yeah.
Because, I played it a couple of times, but not in depth.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? It's just, it's difficult for me to get into it because, I'm kind of used to the whole Samurai Warriors thing, especially with characters like Ieyasu, who's surprisingly looks really young in Basara.
Yeah, he's the guy I'm playing as in Basara, Ieyasu.
Yeah, it's just... What is going on with his design?
Isn't he like MMA? He's got.
Yeah,
he's a boxing.
Yeah, he's got sort of like bits of like sort of boxing and not karate, but like
completely different
martial arts, like very like short range character.
As in compared to like Ko's version with a cannon. Which is awesome as well.
Yeah.
But I love that there's two series because that way it pushes both devs or both producers.
Do you think that there'll ever be some sort of crossover between the two?
Between Capcom and...
Yeah, because we've seen that, in the Warriors Orochi series, because we got like Soul Calibur characters in there.
Yeah.
And obviously Dead or Alive characters because of the merger. But do you think that we would ever see like maybe these two like Yukimura from one game and Yukimura from the other game meeting each other, despite the fact they do have the same voice actors?
I don't know. I can't say.
Know.
I would.
No idea.
But do you think it would be awesome to see that, or what would you think? How do you think it would work?
I don't know.
They both got very cool design teams.
I don't know. I'm not really a fan of like crossover stuff, like especially when the aesthetics are so different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's good to just leave them as they are. I mean, develop each one separately and carry on down that path.
Keep pushing them to be better.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would love to see a crossover because I love crossovers.
But there are some mini shout outs though in Basara. If you when you play it, you'll see some little like sort of bits where you think, oh, I wonder if that's a knowing wink to the other series.
Give us an example because I haven't.
Well, there was one guy. I can't remember who it was. It wasn't a playable guy. But it was one of the like named generals, and he says something like, he's got a kind of like black and silvery type look to him, so he's got like a Zhao Yun type look.
Yeah.
And I think he had a spear as well, and he said something like, I want to be a dynasty warrior, or I want to be something warrior. And when I heard that, I thought, there's like there's obviously as you'd expect, 'cause there's such similar series, there's like a little kind of knowledge about the two. Yeah. So I think like that's probably like as far as probably you'd want it to go.
Okay.
Because they're both cool.
You never told us who your favourite Digimon character is.
Well, it's difficult now because I would say my favourite character was Zhou Yu because of how he is and his sword as well. But now they took his sword away.
I kind of miss his sword.
Yes, exactly. A lot of people are like, I like his stuff.
Plus he's been known to be one of the best sword dancers in history. So
exactly. And then they just like, I don't know what Tech McCoy were doing. They were just
it's cool. The stuff's cool.
It's cool, but it's not needed. I think they could have just done him. I can see why they took the sword away because they want less characters with clone movesets.
Yeah.
And then just giving him the staff, but I don't think the staff suits him. I think he's more of that sword character. That's why I love the Orochi games as well, because the previous Orochi games had him with his sword. But I would say now my favorite character is Wang Yuanji.
Oh really?
For obvious reasons, because she's just so awesome.
Who's that? Which one?
That's she's the one with the knives.
Oh yeah.
She's pretty awesome, I have to say.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure, is she like the only blonde character in Dynasty Warriors?
I think so.
Because
unless you count like Macho's
I know the one you mean.
hair.
I know the one you mean. The one that had the she had when it came out, she had a costume from a Japanese like store. Yeah. I know
she always has those costumes actually, surprisingly. And she's very. I think maybe I might be wrong in saying this, but they had character polls, and I think she won them.
Right.
Because she's very popular.
Ones,
yeah.
Probably.
Super.
I guess because she looks so Western, she's got blonde hair. Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
And other stuff. But
Dynasty Warriors. That's the thing. We can talk forever.
We can talk forever about Dynasty Warriors, and I think we should kind of move away from Dynasty Warriors because we're not in Tech McCoy's office.
Yeah.
Despite the fact you are wearing a t-shirt, which is completely awesome.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys do for Reef specifically? Because we didn't talk about that.
Well, I'm the general manager of it, so I run it on a day-to-day basis, basically. Probably more concerned with the sales and administration of the company more than anything else. That would be my key jobs. And then, as we were saying before the podcast, Jazz is like a special project.
Something.
Yeah, special project ninja. So he works on everything from like community management to marketing, sales, product management, advertising, testing, PR.
Tech
Yeah,
guy.
a bit of everything. Because we're small, so we want to do a bit of everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So within your job descriptions, what's your favourite thing about it?
What's my favourite thing about it?
About working for Reef, about doing your
I
job.
think I can guess what yours is.
Favourite thing about working for Reef?
Can I guess what yours is before you say it? Is that not allowed?
Yeah, go on. If you're going,
Development of your staff.
that's exactly what I was going to say.
Boom!
Yeah.
I win. Yes.
Yeah.
I win.
Yeah, that was it. I thought you were going to say Gamescom.
Why would I say that?
Yeah. Development of my staff. That's my favourite thing about it. And working with lots of people in the industry. I'm lucky in that, like, I can still, like, because we're working with Techmaco and Nordic side, I can still talk to those guys. Obviously, I'm still good friends with them as well. So I've got like lots of good connections that I can speak with.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about you?
I don't know. I guess because I do so many different things, I really enjoy having the ability to do loads of different things. Like expanding my horizon, being able to like not just focus on one area.
Yeah.
Not to say that it's the jack of all trades and master of none, but more
Jack
trying
of
to
all
be.
trades and master of every.
Yeah, that's kind of what I want to be. Is it too much to be the best at everything? Or try to be the best at everything?
You should be ambitious and say, I want to dominate everything.
Pretty much. That's like my life's goal.
Yeah, it's cool to work in games as well. That's the thing. Like,
very
cool. And we always forget about it because it's tough and
it's a day-to-day thing.
It's a day-to-day battle, with all the other games companies out there. But shouldn't forget that that's one of the really most fun parts. And like everyone starting out, that's one of the reason they want to get into the industry, because they love games and they want to contribute something to that market, make it grow and make it stronger. And doing those kind of things is like definitely satisfying, especially if you're making something that people like and they want to play and they appreciate it as well. That can be really, really good feeling.
Okay, so a quick question: do you guys like get free stuff because you're working here, or no?
What kind of free stuff?
Like, free games and stuff. Or you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to have free stuff.
Don't really get a lot.
No, not usually.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say I'm hoping that I might get I might get a promo copy of Gundam Reborn, maybe.
Okay.
If I'm
like
exceptionally lucky.
You probably have Chin's phone number, and I like how you're just calling him out on the podcast.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, actually.
Yeah, like I always say, remember the old days.
Stop living in the past, Will. Stop living in the
You
past.
never know. Like, so apart from that, no, not really. Like, not really a lot of stuff. Because at the end of the day, if you like it, you should buy it.
That's a good answer, actually.
Yeah.
Indeed. Because, for me, there's a Temako do free stuff Friday and whatever.
Yeah.
And it kind of annoys me that a lot of people are like, when they lose it, they just get so worked up about it. And for me, it's like, they don't need to do that. Like, if it was me, I wouldn't even do that, because I like all the games to myself. I don't like kind of giving stuff away to people.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to say this for the first time. I got a massive box from Ubisoft once, and full of games.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say what I did with them. I kind of kept most of them, actually. But I came back from them, and then there's these kids. They were asking me, what do you have in the box?
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't know. I didn't open the box. And they offered to buy the box for £50.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm not going to open the box.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give them the box for £50. And then I go home and open it. There's like all this awesome stuff, like games and stuff. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like loads of copies of Assassin's Creed. loads of like DLCs and stuff. I'm just gonna keep this. So I kept a lot of it, and people are thinking, oh, Fish, how come you didn't give it away? Because shipping is expensive.
Yeah.
Shipping is expensive.
Shipping is expensive.
Yeah.
I did give some away to some less fortunate people.
Yeah.
Locally.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes you have to keep some stuff for yourself. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I seem like a monster now, but it's
keep the good things that you know you're gonna like.
But there's a lot of good things in that box. There was like that's the thing. There was so much, but because there were like copies as well. So there was like loads of Assassin's Creed games, and I was like, I love Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I already owned them.
Yeah.
So I was like, what can I do with these? So I just gave them away to some less fortunate kids.
Yeah.
But you know, I kept some things. Like there was like limited edition statues. I was like, that's going home with me.
That's cool.
But yeah. What else? So within all the titles that you've kind of distributed, which one would you say is your favorite, including the NIS America titles?
And the NIS personally for me.
You're probably going to say Persona.
No. My favourite game that I've played so far is Danganronpa. Like I've fallen in love with that game. Just the characters, the visualization, the story.
So are you excited for the second game?
Very, very, very. I'm still playing like the first one now. Like every chance I get, I'll jump onto it and still play it. Trying to like absorb as much as possible instead of like finishing it really quickly. Because it's a good game. I recommend it. Especially if you like visual novels, and you don't get that type of game over here as well. So.
We don't, and there's something I actually wanted to bring up. Like NIS America don't just do games; they also do like anime as well.
Yeah.
And you know, in Japan, when there's an anime release, they tend to do like visual novels. Do you think we would be seeing that in the future, like visual novel games coming out on the PlayStation Vita?
Well, I'm hoping personally. I like them.
Yeah, I think there will definitely be more.
And this is going to probably be opening the floodgates that it's been successful. Let's bring some more out. That's like the same as we were saying about the Hyperdimension PP games.
Yeah. Depending
on how successful that does, there might be more from other publishers and developers.
Yeah. Like Rising Star had a popular visual novel, Virtue's Last Reward on Vita. That was, I think, maybe the first one on a mainstream console. And then there's some on PC, and then you got Danganronpa, Hyperdimension PP is kind of sort of in that vein, although people say it's an idle sim. But I think now the that kind of genre is established as something that people enjoy, and it has a certain value to it. Then you probably will see more of them. But the thing is, you need a very skilled localizer to make that work.
Yeah.
Because you've got to be able to get if you're reading a lot of text or you're listening to a lot of text, it's got to be engaging.
Yeah.
So you can't get away with localization that's not absolutely spot on, and it's not done by someone that really completely understands the the culture of where the game came from.
But there is some people that kind of get the game.
Yeah.
Not legally.
Yeah.
And they kind of do their own fan patches.
Fan subs.
Fan subs and fan dubs and stuff. What do you think about that?
For anime or for games?
For games as well. These especially visual novels that haven't been released in the West.
Yeah.
They get the ISO online because these games tend to be released for Vita and PSP and whatever. So they get the ISOs online and then they kind of change it themselves.
Right.
What do you think about that?
Well, when I imported Shenmue 2 in Japanese, I played it with a GameFAQ that I printed off that translated every conversation, so I could read and understand it. So I guess that's the equivalent of it back then.
Yeah. But that was legal back then. There's nothing illegal about printing a sheet of paper.
Yeah, that's as close as I really ever got to trying it. I think where there's a will, there's a way, and there's always someone willing to do it. And you can't really say if the game's not going to come out here, then and people have a demand for it, then someone's going to be willing to do it. I didn't know that it could be done on a Vita or a PSP, but I can imagine on PC, that kind of thing could be done.
Well,
yeah.
On PC, I'm not sure if it's a different situation because there are games that you're allowed to mod and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think on the Vita you have to root the system, and it's it goes into a lot of things which are pretty much illegal. But yeah. Anyway, another thing. This episode was pretty much, to be honest, it was pretty much mostly Tecmo Koei stuff, and just
we're mostly reminiscing, to be honest.
Yeah. So what did you guys think about this podcast so far? Like,
it's good. I mean, I enjoyed it's like I said, reminiscing.
You didn't talk that much.
What can I say?
It was mostly Will, which was interesting. But I think it would have been more interesting if he spoke as well.
Did you try?
Get him on to ask him something that he'll open up and tell you about.
Like what? What do you have any ideas?
Sensei.
Okay.
The life and times of Sensei.
Here's a little fact
he'll tell you all about
Finish Rise 3. Then let's go back to this. I actually bought my copy of Finish Rise 3 before I actually bought my PS2, which is a weird fact.
No, that's understandable.
Yeah, because I remember playing it at my best friend's house, and we both got madly fixated with it. His eventual favourite character was like Zhao Yun, and then eventually Zhao Yu, same as you, with the sword. After I played at his house, I was like, okay, I've got to get a PS2. Went to the game pretty much the next day, bought the game. I was like, okay, when's my PS2 coming now? And eventually, weird little fact.
That's an interesting fact, because I'm in a similar way, because I have 2 copies of Warriors Orochi 3 Hyper.
Yeah. For the Wii U. Yeah.
I don't even own a Wii U.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what am I going to do? Because they're both signed copies. Like I went around MCM asking the voice actors to sign. The game is in Japanese, but I got the English voice actors to sign it. Because,
they can get away with it. That's the only copy of the Japanese version that's got a UK sign.
Exactly.
It's unique.
So it's very unique. Because I spoke to Chin afterwards, and because there was a lot of people because they were giving it away for free at the Tecmo Koei booth, there was a lot of people that were taking it and then trying to trade it in at CEX.
Oh man.
And it's a shame because
taking what? Sorry?
Taking the games,
3 games from Tecmo and then going to CEX.
And then going to CES to trade them in. It's a shame because I think people should at least give it a try.
What, they were giving away free games?
Yeah, last year, October MCM.
Yeah, they didn't have a sales stand, they just had some leftover stock.
Yeah.
I think.
They had loads of copies of Warriors Orochi 3 on
Did you wish you were at their booth?
I was like, wow, that's cool.
They had loads of stuff. They had like PS2 games, PS3 games.
I think I got Hyper as well that day.
I don't know. Me and my sister got a copy of Hyper each, and it was interesting because there was a lot of people that didn't know the game, and then they weren't just giving it away. They were doing like a little quiz. So just name 3 characters from the game, and it was difficult. People couldn't actually do it.
Yeah.
Even though you look at the back and there's certain characters
so just name that.
Yeah, their names are there, and I'm like, really? Like you can't tell who Hayabusa is. You can't tell who Ayane is. They're on the box.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway, so I think it's a good time to wrap this episode up.
Yeah.
And it was, like I said, it's a pleasure to be recording with both of you.
Yeah.
It's always nice.
And yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of the Get Live Podcast. Woohoo!
Awesome.
See you
Thank
later.
you. Cheers.
This is Chie Tanaka, and you've been listening to Get a Life Podcast. I hope that means you got a life. Besides, you gotta eat more meat.